Hello, this is Votan, and I'm back. Today I would like to talk about a little bit of the right brain training that I've been doing. So the right brain is the brain that is very different from the left, which is the logical, analytical, the brain that we normally learn how to control and develop in school and in our educational system, and our society is pretty much run by the left brain. The right brain is the more creative part that is more intuitive, and it also is more holistic. It sees like the whole picture rather than seeing things linearly like the left brain. And most of our educational systems and the way most children are brought up is to ignore the right brain and focus exclusively on the left. But consequently, there's a lot of latent abilities that we're missing, and we're also missing out of our, a lot of times, our feeling side, because that's where a lot of the feelings come from. A lot of positive emotions are evoked from the right brain side. So it's much easier for children to learn how to do it, because they're already natural at it. Most children just come into the world already having a direct access to the right brain, and so it's very easy for them to train it and develop it, especially because children are good at learning everything, pretty much. They're like sponges, they soak up so much, possibly due to the low brain waves that they're automatically in. And as we get older, we start functioning in the higher brain waves, like in beta. But it is possible to learn it as an adult. It just takes significantly more effort, and it's more challenging. But I believe the rewards are worth it. And so that's been a big portion of my focus for the past month or so. And so the primary source that I've been using to increase my right brain capabilities is a book that I read a year ago, and I didn't have time to really practice anything, but I thought it was fascinating, and I sort of put a mental note on it to come back to it. And now that I have more time to delve into it, I've been reading it. The name of the book is called Quantum Speed Reading by Yumiko Tobitani. Here's the book, and it's, as you can see, it's not very thin, but there's a lot in it, and it's translated from the Japanese, and so it's not completely as clear as it could be as like a guidebook, because there's repetitive places and places where there are things maybe said slightly differently, or maybe like little additional information in different spots. So it's not, you really have to condense it and combine the similarities to find all of the good stuff together. And there are a couple of websites that I found that have a lot of these steps listed out. But I found following it right from the book works pretty well. In the back there is a set of practices for children and adults. And it's not very easy to start out, because, as is explained, the right brain doesn't learn like the left brain in linear steps. And you can see when you're doing typical left brain stuff like I don't know, math or logic or anything that maybe language learning, you're sort of learning in a progression and you can see yourself improve day by day. Whereas the right brain training, you do something for a couple months and it seems like you've made no progress. But in fact, behind the scenes, your brain is busy building new connections for this new pathway that you've started, this new training that it's not used to. So it gets busy building these new structures in the brain. And so it's like you don't really have much to show for it, but then 3 months seems to be the magic number. After 3 months, the brain is finished building, or at least enough has been built, so that all of a sudden you have these right brain capabilities that you've been training. Like I said, I've only done it for a month, so I don't really have that much to show for it. I have made progress, but the major point that quantum speed reading can give, or the benefit that it claims that it can give, hasn't been realized for me yet. But I thought I'd share this just because it's very interesting and it holds a lot of promise. Now I'm sure there will be skeptical people, and I read some of the reviews on like Amazon or elsewhere that said they were expecting a speed reading book because of the name Quantum Speed Reading, and in fact that's what I was expecting too when I checked it out in the library. But I was pleasantly surprised that it's much more than that. Basically the premise is the author, Yumiko Tobitani, who is a Japanese teacher at an elementary school called Shichida Academy, I think. And it's a unique school in that it's a private school and they aim to develop the right brain and try to teach children skills like how to learn and how to become better people and get more in touch with their intuition, and rather than all these schools that try to cram facts and knowledge and things that they think children would benefit from or should know in their job when they become an adult. And so she was pretty much in a prime location for this, and I guess it came about by accident, but basically she had the children flipping through books at high speed, so like this, pretty much like this, sort of looking at it, but not, obviously that's too fast to read. But a surprising thing happened, and that is the children started to see colors coming out of the book. And with the colors came understanding. And so she started experimenting and saw that the children could read a book and understand most of it and the gist of it with just this rapid page flipping. And she found also through extensive training, even books written in a foreign language somehow were automatically translated to Japanese for the children so that they could understand what the book said. Somehow the right brain had like a language translator built in, because at least I don't know if that, this is based in the Japanese system, I don't know if that's true for maybe reading a Japanese book for like an English speaking person, because Japanese characters are sort of based on pictographs, and Chinese characters, which are, I think, earlier from like hieroglyphs, or maybe not hieroglyphs, but picture words that a lot of times represent in like a word or an object by itself, rather than our English alphabet, which is based on letters. But I think it probably doesn't matter, because the right brain deals in images and pictures, and so it's kind of an easy task for the brain to display certain things. And a lot of that just comes down to the understanding. If you can understand it, then it seems to be translating automatically. Another thing that was found is they could write the title, just make up a title and write it on a blank book, and then rapid flip through the blank book, and based on the title they would start seeing images or stories or information based on that title. So it could be like maybe something that happened in your past, the children's past, or maybe like an essay that they wanted to write, or a story that they were stuck with how the plot should be. You could do that and you could come up with it. It seems pretty amazing. I think that's sort of an advanced technique, and I'm just focusing on trying to see the colors as they would appear coming out of the book. So far I haven't seen any yet. But like I said, I'm only a month in, and it's much harder for adults to attain this. And the goal necessarily isn't the colors, but it's trying to understand what you're reading through the rapid page flipping. And she also found that it wasn't just images that were coming out of the books, but sounds and smells and tastes and different things were coming out as well. So this is something that seems to involve all of the sensory perceptions. And the book is good because it lists, like, in different categories, the different benefits you can get, and different examples that go beyond quantum speed reading. For example, the author cited being able to use a picture in her mind and send it to a student who received it. So almost like telepathy, I guess. And the student reported receiving the message. Or being able to communicate with the natural world, like plants or trees. And that seems like it's also possible, as reported in a couple of examples by the author. So those sort of things sort of show what's possible with it, but how do you get there? And so the basic way of getting there is to train the eyes and train your imaging center inside your mind, inside your brain. So training the eyes has to do with rapidly moving your eyes around in predefined shapes, like up and down, left and right, in a star pattern, and doing this very rapidly will also produce colors, and that's sort of a prerequisite before doing quantum speed reading. So you get good at that, and then you could transfer it over to the rapid page flipping. So the other part of it is being able to see images clearly within your mind. So if you can close your eyes and see something as clearly as when your eyes are open, then you have a good chance of being able to do this successfully. for me, this is probably the part that I am the weakest in. My visualization skills are quite low. I have difficulty trying to focus on anything, any amount of time, let alone seeing an image in my mind and having it be clear, or even being able to see it at all. So I'm at the point now where I can see much better, and images aren't that clear, but they're starting to become a little bit less dim. And I've noticed, my dreams and random daydreams tend to be more vivid as well. So there are like after image exercises you can do by staring at an image, just like a simple shape, and then staring at a blank spot on the page, like a white area, and then seeing the after image. Or staring at another shape, like a square with a circle in the middle, and then closing your eyes and seeing the after image. So you stare at the image for maybe 30 seconds, close your eyes, and then stare at it. Now, at first you will see sort of the inverse of the colors, but as you progress, you should progress to the point where after you stare at the image and then close your eyes, you should start to see the actual colors that you looked at. So your internal imaging power becomes accurate. And then you should be able to, once it becomes clear in your mind, you can change the colors, change the shapes, and then you can start manipulating them around and doing all sorts of stuff. And that shows then you have full control of your imaging power. The other very important aspect is breathing, and so they give a couple of breathing exercises to do in the book, and you have to use some imagination when you do the breathing, and do maybe some physical exercises to get the blood pumping, and then do some blindfolded rapid page flipping, just to really activate the right brain, because normally when our eyes are open doing something, it's really hard to relinquish the left brain control. So the blindfold is just an aid, and then you could try doing the regular rapid page flipping. But she recommends for adults to do the camera shutter, which she calls it, or I call the rapid blinking. Basically it's like this. So you do that as you're moving your eyes around into the various configurations. You're doing that as you're doing the rapid page flipping. And the idea is that you're not allowing your brain to know if the eyes are open or closed. It confuses the left brain a little bit, and it allows you to see colors more easily and perhaps get in touch with the right brain faster. So, and then there are some other exercises for children to do that are more fun for them, like maybe flashcards, or imagining balloons, or sea waves, etc. So that's sort of the general outline of the quantum speed reading program. I kind of wish that the book was updated, because it came out in 2006, I believe. And on the website it says a DVD is coming soon, but that notice has been there a while. I don't think one is coming soon. And also some of the techniques, she said, were in preliminary stages and haven't been fully fleshed out yet, like flying in. Flying in is one of the techniques that is not really quantum speed reading, but it's related to the right brain. Well, it is quantum speed reading, but it's not rapid page flipping. So you take the book, you wrap it and you hold it, and you imagine yourself shrinking down to really, really small and flying into the book, and then reading the book that way, perhaps even covering yourself with glue and rolling around and absorbing all of the words through your skin. And supposedly that is potentially an even more effective way to absorb what is written in the book. You can even practice your accuracy by trying to fly in to a specific page and see what images you get, see what you think that page is about, and then after you're done, actually go to the book, open to that page and see if you're right. That's also a possible training mechanism that you can use. The other application of flying in that at least one of the children used was flying into the body. So supposedly this person could imagine themselves shrinking really small and flying into one's own body or a family member's body and looking for any problems like illnesses or anything like that and fixing it. And supposedly this has been done successfully, and the child had cured whatever family members had. I think that's amazing. That this is the kind of thing that I would like to be involved in and have access to, because I think that we have a lot of latent abilities that we don't really explore, but you really have to get in touch with a part of ourselves that we're not normally taught, and that doesn't come naturally to most of us. I also think you really have to, I'm not sure about the right brain, but to really get in touch with deeper parts of yourself, you really have to lower your brainwave. And I don't have a brainwave monitor, but being able to lower your brainwave from the normal beta state, which we're normally functioning in, at least down to the alpha state, which is the relaxed state when your eyes are closed and you're relaxed. I think that's a pretty big prerequisite for this. Children are naturally in deeper states, and they slowly raise their brainwaves as they get older, which is probably why they stop learning so well so quickly as they get older. But we still have the capability, we still have the possibility. I'm not sure how far we can develop it, but it's definitely within the realms of our capability, and I would like to see myself progress, and I would like to see more interest, more websites spring up around this, and not have so much skepticism levied against this book or this kind of training, because a lot of the stuff does sound far-fetched, but I'm sort of the mind, well, how do you know until you actually try, either see it for yourself or do it yourself? So I want to try for myself, so I'm sort of giving myself 3 months to do this and see where I come out. Now, visualization, I already know, is very good. Paul Sheely has a course called Instant Photo Reading, I believe it's called, or just photo reading, and that is I was interested about halfway through, and it sort of lost me a little bit just because of the amount of time required to do the photo reading, and it just seemed sort of slow. This quantum speed reading is much faster, although to get to the point where you're doing it is kind of a long process. But it's, I think, worth it. And there's a lot of applications for having a good visualization. When you can see things, you can remember things much easier. So if you're trying to remember dates, history dates, like you take a history class and you have all these dates, you can like create a timeline in your head, put the dates there, maybe with some pictures, linking them together with something interesting to help you remember. Or you can have like a picture for each number, and you could have like a sequence of pictures to remember different numbers. There's a lot of applications for this. And with really advanced visualization skills, there are other possibilities too, like remote viewing, which seems to exist if the government is doing it, and other stuff too. And so I think a lot of this stuff is worth investigating, and so yeah, so I just wanted to share about quantum speed reading. Unfortunately, the book is out of print, so I got mine from the library, and you could order it for a couple $100 on Amazon. But if you can find it in a used bookstore, that's great. So yeah, that's about all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, comments, or insights, or want more information, or maybe clarification, or interested in something, go ahead and post it, and we can have a discussion. Alright, have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.